Hey guys, what is up? I know I haven't made a video in a long time, but I really had to cover this Apple event that happened today because while at the beginning I thought it was one of the most poor keynotes ever, it quickly turned into something that was really interesting, a ton of new innovations. Um, and in this video I wanted to go over the one last thing that was the Apple Watch. Now, the Apple Watch was rumored for a long time, but there was no real solid leaks or anything, so a lot of people weren't expecting an actual watch today. Anyways, Apple did announce it. However, the release date is until 2015 or early 2015, and that could be easily the reason why we didn't get as much leak coverage because the manufacturing isn't done yet. So here we have the Apple Watch. It looks amazing. Now I'll get into a lot of the specifics and talk about some of the things that I think are probably most important. So here you can see two of the Apple Watches. Now it comes in three types for the actual device, like the square in the middle, and those look relatively the same. I think the major difference is one's more matte, one's more glossy, and one's more for sports. So here you can see an example of two of these from the images on Apple's website. And then you can also interchange the bands with a ton of different types. And while that is really cool, I'm sure Apple will definitely overcharge for that. And speaking of price, the watch will be $350 and it'll work with only an iPhone. Now at first you might think, I have an iPod Touch, I have an iPad, this is kind of sad that I don't get one. And the reality is, even I couldn't afford an iPhone for a long time. That's the reason why my channel was called iPod Uplink. And I understand everyone's comments and stuff, but the main reason that the watch today doesn't support the other devices is because it's highly connected with all the phone's features like calling, texting, messaging, and you pretty much always need a connection for it to work. So I don't really see the application on the other devices as much. We'll see what happens, but officially it's only supported by the actual app. And here you can see on the screen right now they demoed something which I thought is a little bit creepy. Anyways, it's you can share your heartbeat with someone else that has an Apple Watch, and I guess it's sort of like an intimate thing you could do. You could also message and tap in different ways, so you can contact people kind of through Morse code, more through haptic feedback on your wrist. Anyways, there's just some little catch that they talked about. And the heartbeat thing I think is a little creepy because I think one day you might receive one of those from someone that would make you feel awkward or not. I just thought it was kind of hilarious though that they mentioned it and they put a little bit of emphasis on it. Now, this is also going to be used for fitness. Now, I could see the Apple Watch completely destroying something like Fitbit, except for the fact that it's so much more expensive. So, it will offer everything. It connects to the health app that Apple mentioned a lot in iOS 8. Now, it also works with like workouts. It has like some Siri like motivation, just a ton of features. They didn't really go into too much depth of actually how it works, more of just like promotional videos of people working out with it and how cool that it seemed. Now, I know a lot of people are into wearable fitness products, and I think this is going to be one of the luxury brands that someone can use for that type of functionality. Now, here you can see a picture from the promotional event. This guy has one of the steel bands, not actually a fitness band, which is kind of funny. But moving on, I'm just going to show a few more photos of the actual watch. Now, it looks a little thick, as some people mentioned, but other than that, it looks super elegant in my opinion, and I really like that they kept with a square front instead of like a circle or something, because I just feel like it's a lot more to work with. And in this image I also want to talk about the crown, which is a little dial on the right. Now, that's sort of the new home button for the watch, where if you tap it you go out to your apps or page or whatnot, which also looks a little bit different. I'll have links in the description so you can see even more than what's included in this video. And then the lower button allows you to quick contact your friends, so like all your contacts or your best contacts or your closest contacts, whatever, will pop up when you hit the bottom button. And the second feature of the dial is if you go back and forth, it acts as like a zooming feature, because they mentioned that pinch to zoom would be a little challenging on the Apple Watch, because your fingers are so big compared to the small device that it obstructs your view and stuff. So this is sort of a new way to use the product, and basically everything has been re-engineered for an actual watch, and you could tell they put a lot of effort into it. They released it like a new product, like they did the iPad to completely revolutionize tablets, like the iPhone to revolutionize phones, and I think this is really going to push smartwatches. I don't know if like the overall market for smartwatches is big as it is for the other two, but it sure didn't seem like an iPad would be as successful as it is today. So moving on, here you can see a bunch of the watch faces. Now obviously you can have analog and digital, and you can have all these other crazy designs which look super cool in motion. A lot of are animated. I know when you put your wrist up, the device will turn on, and so it won't waste battery. Now they really didn't talk about how much battery, but what they did say or mention is it sort of has like a magnet thing that snaps onto the back that charges it. Here you can see one more photo of the Maps application. It comes with a bunch of applications built in. It all looked really easy to use, and on top of that, they're bringing the SDK to developers, so anyone can develop their own iWatch or Apple Watch apps. And that's also cool because they showed a lot of push notifications from companies like Twitter that made the push notifications look a lot nicer than they do on the phone, and a lot easier, because I know if you haven't had a smartwatch, it's kind of hard to understand. But for instance, when I have the Pebble, it just makes things so much easier to have something on your wrist. Now it sounds kind of like a first world problem, like pulling out your phone out of your pocket, but you'll notice over the day, especially if you're someone like me, you get a lot of texts from group conversations, stuff like that. And a lot of times I don't need to respond to it, or I'll just read it later, and sometimes it's like super important. So with a watch, you can just sort of like turn your wrist really quickly to see what it is, but with your phone you have to pull it out, turn it on, turn it off, or sleep it, and it just takes a little while, and it's just a big convenience factor if you're doing it like tens of times a day. And I think it'll look really elegant on this new watch. And here you can see sort of the home screen, so you can see all your applications. You can navigate around it by moving your finger, and you could zoom out with the little crown, and you can put your apps where you want. And in the middle is your clock app for the watch. Here's the other design. I believe it's called the Watch Express or something like that, and you can see this is sort of geared towards a more fancy watch instead of like a fitness look, especially with the band. And here's one of the first pictures they showed. Here's more of the fitness band style, and then here's the actual bottom of the watch. Now you can see it has these sensors that get your heartbeat, and that's my perception of the Apple Watch. Now, if you want to watch a full keynote, you can on Apple's website. It was pretty good, especially towards the end. Now, to top it all off, we're going to be giving away one of these brand new devices that will be shipped to you in early 2015. If you want a chance to win one entry at a new Apple Watch, all you have to do is go to freeapplife.com. If you haven't already, download the application by just going there on your phone on Safari. Once Free App Life is downloaded, or if you already have it, all you gotta do is open it up and download a new sponsor. Every sponsor that's downloaded, along with the points that you get towards prizes, paid apps, and gift cards, you'll also get a chance to win one of these new Apple Watches. So we wanted to give back to you guys as soon as possible. I know there's a lot of hype around this watch. I know I'm dying to get my hands on it, and I want to give that opportunity to one other person that potentially couldn't afford it. So make sure to check that out, link in the description and everything like that, and I'll see you guys later.